Hey everybody, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I am playing Arkham Horror, the card game. I am going to be playing scenario number 3 of the Dunwich Legacy. It is called the Essex County Express. This is a pretty interesting one. My investigators are on a train. And as you can see, there are train cars and then the train engine at the front. They begin at the back. I've already shuffled and done the decks the way I'm supposed to. I haven't drawn my cards yet. 2 tokens are getting added to the token bag. This one from the last scenario, because it says you gave in to the temptation of power when you kept the Necronomicon. So this one gets added in. And then also for the scenario, it tells me to add a -2 because I'm not sure if you know this or not, but I typically play on easy mode. I know that sounds lame, but I prefer to experience the story. You can still lose on easy mode. It's just the cards aren't stacked against you so much. So I've put both those in there, so there are 2 new tokens in there. Let's see, what else? Let me go ahead and read it to you. So, recent events in the museum have forced you to reevaluate Armitage's tale about Dunwich. It cannot be a coincidence. Wilbur Whatley, the Necronomicon, the creature from Dunwich, and the people and creatures who attacked here in Arkham, everything must be connected. You're certain now where you must head, the lonely and dismal town of Dunwich Village. You consider telling the Massachusetts State Police what you know, but the negative consequences outweigh the potential gain. Given the nature of your story, they would likely write off your stories as an absurd hoax. Worse, they might lock you up. After all, you were present in an illegal speakeasy, and you trespassed in the museum. Instead, you decide to head to Dunwich yourself in order to investigate further. You pack everything you think you might need and manage to get some rest for the night. In the morning, you head to the train station in Northside and purchase a last-minute express ticket. Dunwich is several hours by train northwest along the Miskatonic River. There is no train station in Dunwich, but you manage to phone one of Armitage's acquaintances in the small village, a man by the name of Zebulon Whatley, who was present during the event several months ago. Armitage's notes indicate that the Whatley family is spread across many branches, some decadent and unscrupulous, others undecayed or otherwise untouched by nefarious and diabolic rites. According to Armitage, Zebulon's branch of the family lay somewhere between the decayed and undecayed Whatleys, who knew of the traditions of his ancestors but was not corrupted by them. He agrees to pick you up at the closest station and drive you into town. As the train departs from Arkham, you feel the events of the previous night catching up to you, and exhaustion sets in. But before you can safely reach your destination, the train car suddenly tumbles and shakes, starting you out of your reverie. The train loudly skids to a violent halt, and you hear a rattling noise behind you. All right, so my heroes begin in the last train car, which I flipped over, and it's the dining car. I don't know about trains. I don't know if the dining car is traditionally at the rear, front, middle, I don't know, but in this case, it's at the back, and that's where my heroes begin. It also said that you reveal it, it's flipped, it has no clues, and it said you ignore any forced. The forced on this one says, after you reveal it, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a grappling horror and draw it. So thankfully, I don't have to do that. Mark Harrington, I upgraded his deck with 6 XP. I got Charisma, which allows him to have 2 allies out, and he also got the Elder Sign, which gives him a buff to his sanity. Jenny took, what did she take? She got a Leo DeLuca upgrade of 1 point out of her 6. She got a emergency cash for 2, which bumps it up and allows her to draw a card as well as get emergency supplies. And then that was, and then the, what was the other one? That was 3, and then the one with 3 was, I wrote it down. Hang on, I'll tell you. I keep notes of everything I do. She got Bulletproof Vest. Bulletproof Vest for a cost of 3, so she spent all 6, and that will help protect her from bodily harm, hopefully. All right, so every investigator begins with 5 resources. Now, this time I'm going to try to remember that Jenny always draws 2 at the beginning or during the upkeep phase, but she seems to always be just rolling in resources, so it may not matter. I need to draw their deck. All right, so Mark begins with Sophie, his in loving memory. It's some sort of like he's just always dwelling on, I think, his long-dead sister, and her card gives him the abilities to take damage for things. And as I said, charisma allows him to have a different ally. 3, 4, 5. All right, let's see what we got. Good, 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 good. Oh, I'll keep all these. I'm not gonna fuss on those. And Jenny, did I shuffle that? I did shuffle that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jenny gets Leo, good one, and her twin 45s, and her emergency cash. Oh man, and overpowered nap. Okay, excellent. She's got a good hand going there. Okay, let's see. I've already shuffled this. There are some cards that start out of play that will be pulled in later in the game, I suspect. And again, I'm playing easy mode. Let's read the agenda and the act, and then we'll get started. So the agenda, which is what I do not want advancing. This is the bad stuff. 4 Doom tokens will advance it to the next agenda. It says, a tear in reality. As the train to Dunwich comes to a jarring stop, you look out the window behind you and see an immense tear in the sky, like a rip in a piece of cloth. Several of the rearmost train cars are pulled backwards, and there is a dreadful metallic crunch as they are detached. The train cars topple upwards and into the rift in the sky. Nearby passengers are panicking, others are cowering in their seats, and one elderly man has fainted in fear. That may explain why the dining car is at the rear. Maybe there were more cars back. All right, and then the act, which is what I want to advance, says run. The train is stopped on a bridge high above the Miskatonic River. Of course it's on a bridge. You might be able to survive the fall, but you don't like your chances. Your best bet is to make your way to the engine car as fast as you can and get the train running again. Objective: if an investigator enters the engine car, immediately advance. Excellent. Okay. So that's good. Probably not. It probably means that these train cars that are unrevealed have things that are going to slow me down. I've never played this one before, so I don't know. I don't know what's coming, so we will take a chance. All right, so I'm going to start with Mark. I like Mark, and mainly I'm starting with him because he has this thing called Safeguard, which says after another investigator moves from your location to a connecting location, exhaust Safeguard and move to that location. So what I meant was I'm going to move Jenny, because I can play that after another investigator moves from your location to a connecting, exhaust it, and move to that. All right, so Jenny's going to go first, and she's got 5 resources. Now, I like Leo DeLuca. Why? Because he has health and sanity that can be used to protect her, but it says you may take an additional action during your turn. He gives her an additional action, and well worth upgrading for a cost of 5, because she's going to spend all 5 to do that and get him out. Now, that's her first action. She gets a bonus action. So during her bonus action, I'm gonna spend emergency cash for 0, and it gives me 3 resources, and I draw a card. So I get 3 resources back, and I draw a card. All right. So I have 3. That was her. Let's see, she paid, and then she got an additional action, which she paid that. So she's got 2 more actions. So I could get her guns out, and it's a cost of X. Oh, so however many resources you spend, that's how many bullets you get. Ooh, I need to hold on to that, because I don't have enough resources right now. So let's go ahead and move. So for her second action, third action, she will move here. Remember, she gets a bonus action for 4, which reveals this. There are 2 clues here. 1 and I need some small ones. 2 tokens. 1 per investigator, so a total of 2. It's got a shroud of 3. This is the parlor card. Parlor card is connected to the locations to the left and right. Parlor card cannot be investigated. You have to spend 3 resources to discover a clue there. Ooh, okay, good to know. So she does have 3 resources, and she doesn't need her gun yet. So for her 4th and final action, she will spend 3 resources and she will get a clue. That says 3 on it. It should be just a single little clue. All right. So there's a single, and she will put that on her thing. That is the end of her turn. Leo gave her that extra one, so she played, she moved, she investigated. Or she didn't investigate. She just, as an action, she spent the resource. So that's 4. All right, so her turn is over. Let's go to Mark. Mark, for a cost of 2, he can move here without spending an action. So he's going to do that. So he'll spend the 2, and he moves here. And that's a free action. He needs 5 to get his ally out, which is unfortunate. Play after you defeat an enemy, discover a clue. So he can't do that. He can't do this. He's not being attacked. He can't do that. So he can't play. He has no money to play anything. So for his first action, well, actually his first action was he played that card. So that allowed him to move. So it saved a move action. So for his, is that what it is? It says fast. After another investigator moves to enacting exhaust safeguard. So it did not cost a turn. So he still got his 3 turns. All right. All right. So as a fast, okay. So he's got. So let's go ahead and move him here. That's his first action. That flips. There are 6 resources here. Nice. Okay. 3. Oh, wrong one. 3 and 6. The passenger car is connected to the left and right. Forced. After you enter the passenger card, you must either discard cards from your hand with at least 2 total agility icons or take 2 damage. I don't have any agility icons with at least 2 or take 2 damage. Well, I'm already taking damage. I have to take 2 damage. All right, so he takes 2 points of damage. And that's 4 after you enter. So when Jenny comes there, she's going to have to lose 2 health or get rid of 2 agility. All right, so that was 1. He could investigate. It's a shroud of 1, which means he's got a good chance of investigating. We probably need to collect clues. I have a sneaky feeling that clues are going to be important. So let's play. Ooh, I don't want to. His investigate is 2. 2 versus 1. That's pretty good odds, but I'd rather bump that up. And I'm going to bump it up with evidence, which bumps it up to +2. So he's doing 4 versus 1. This is his second action. 4 versus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3, so he definitely gets a clue. And this goes down to 2 clues. I'm going to have to... So he gets 1 clue, and 2 more are going to go back on here. I got to find... Let's see. 1 and 2. All right. So that was his... He moved. He investigated. He's got 1 more action. Let's go ahead and we need to... Do I want to keep them together? If I'm moving back, spend 3 resources. He can't do that as an action, so... All right, do I keep moving forward or do I go back and help her? Because if she draws a bad guy... She's got her guns in her hand, so she does, but she doesn't have any money right now. She'll get 2 resources. Moving forward. We're going to move forward. We're going to go here for his 3rd and final action. We reveal this. It's got 2 tokens on it. Let's see. 1, 2. It's another passenger car. Forced. After you enter, you must discard a card from your hand with at least 1 question icon, which is random, or take a damage. Well, I hate to do it, but he does have that. So I'm going to discard this. He takes no damage. And that is the end of his turn. All right, so at the end of their turn, it is now the creature phase. There are no enemies, no enemy phase. So upkeep phase, you flip them over. They each get a resource. She gets 2, and they draw a card. He draws shortcut. Choose an investigator at your location, move it to a connecting location. Okay, interesting. So if he meets her here, he can free move her there. I don't know. We'll see. And then she draws dodge, cancel an attack from an enemy. Okay, that's not a bad card. All right, now we place it is the Mythos phase. You place a Doom token. So let's place 1 Doom token there. You can almost hear the dong, boom. And then, who went first? She went first, so she draws a card. And she got Claws of Steam. Test 3 sanity. If you fail, take 2 damage, and you cannot move from this location this round. Damage from this effect must be assigned to your assets first. Ooh. 2 damage would kill Leo. Ugh. All right, so let's see. Sanity. Her sanity is 3. She could play... Her dodge would burn it. Shoot. All right. I'll play Clean Them Out, which bumps her up to 4 sanity. 4 versus, what did I say, 3? I don't like these odds, but I also don't want to get rid of dodge. Although, you know, she's not in trouble right now. I'm going to do that and get her up to 5. 5 versus 3. The skull. The skull is minus X. X is the current agenda. 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4, so she beats that. All right. Mark draws Mysterious Chanting. You gotta hate the chanting. Place 2 Doom on the nearest cultist. There aren't any. If there are no cultists, search the encounter deck and discard for a cultist enemy and draw it, and then shuffle the encounter deck. All right. So we just keep drawing until we get a cultist enemy. Come on. Cultist. Here we go. An acolyte. And what did it say to put it? And discard. And if there are no cultist enemies in play, search it, discard pile, and draw it. Okay, so because Mark drew it, it appears in his. It's dealing with him. It's in his play area. All right, not too bad. The cultists are pretty weak. Well, they have 1 health, but 3 fight. Okay. All right, that is it. It is now Jenny's turn. Now Jenny only has 2 resources, so playing her guns is only going to give her 2 bullets, which I don't like. So she is going to move. Because, well, if she moves here, you must discard at least 2 agilities, and she can't do that, so she would take 2 damage, which fortunately does not have to go to Leo. It could go to her. Or she could stay and investigate, get the last clue, draw a card, get a resource, and then put some bullets on it. Let's do that. So I'm going to choose a resource for her first action. I am going to pay it to put 3 bullets on her guns, which that's not good. She's got 3 bullets. So that was her first action. Oh, no, second action. She drew a resource, did this. Now she's going to investigate. And to investigate, she is a 3 versus 3. Oh, man. And I have nothing to contribute to that. So, do I want to draw a card rather than waste the chance? That's a waste of a investigate because it's probably going to fail. So, but I need to keep moving. But if I move here, she's going to have to take damage. So, let's draw a card. I drew Daring Maneuver. Play when you would succeed at a skill test. You get +2 for the test. Okay, well that didn't really help, and that is the end of her turn. But she's got a gun, and she's got Leo DeLuca. Oh, no, she gets an extra action because of Leo DeLuca. That's right. So for her fourth action, I can fast play this. So if I use her fourth turn to get a resource, get a card, I can play this to take a fast. Play when you would succeed at a skill test. When you would succeed. So she's got to succeed. And she's 3 versus 3 right now. She can't contribute anything. Play when you would succeed. And you get +2. But I could add +1 and give her 4 versus 3 and let her do that right now. 4 versus 3. I don't get the play when you would succeed, but it doesn't really matter because the +2 wouldn't help me. I could do a 4 versus 3. I'm going to try it. I'm going to contribute this to make it 4 versus 3. This is her fourth action, so she's still active. 4 versus 3. That is -1. So 3 meets 3, so she does get the last clue. This goes back in. She did not fail it. And that is the end of her turn. Mark has an acolyte to deal with. He can't really do anything to play a card. He needs to fight this guy. His fight is 5 versus 3. I will take those odds. 5 versus 3. Oh, I forgot. After acolyte enters, place a doom on it. Okay, so it does get 1 doom on it. But if I defeat the acolyte, that doom goes away. All right, 5 versus 3. And do I want to contribute anything? Physical training. I could make it 6 versus 3. I'm going to take chance and go 5 versus 3. I don't want to contribute that. 5 versus 3. 5 plus 1 is 6. So he defeats it because it only has 1 health. It goes away. The doom goes back over here. That was his first action. All right. Let's keep moving. He will move here for his second action, which reveals this. Another passenger car. Forced. After you enter, you must discard cards from your hand worth 2 sanity or take 2 horror. Come on. I do have 2 sanity. You must discard cards with 2 sanity. So I have a sanity and a sanity, so I will do that. And he does that. So he fought, he moved, he's got 1 more action. He's got 1 more action. Oh, and this one has 4 clues. 3, 4. Okay, 1 and a 3. All right. Do I keep going? No, because if I go here, it's a passenger car, it's gonna force me to get rid of something, and I don't have anything to get rid of. So we're gonna stop and we're gonna investigate. His investigate is 2 versus a shroud of 2. I'm not gonna spend this. I don't like even odds. So rather than waste an investigation, I'm going to, do I want to draw a card or do I want to get a resource? I'm going to get a resource so I can pay for credit. I'm going to draw a card. I got Armitage. Okay, so I have a second ally now. Armitage says after you draw a card, discard that card and exhaust him to gain 3 resources. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So that was his, let's see, he fought, he moved, and he drew a card. So that is the end of his turn. There are no enemies on the board, so it is now upkeep. These flip over. They each get a resource. He gets that. She gets 2. She gets 2. And they draw a card. He gets Guard Dog, 3 different allies. So I got good choices here. Unfortunately, I can only have 2. And she draws an ally. You get +1 fight. After you defeat an enemy, exhaust him to draw a card. Okay. But she can only have 1 ally out. She's got DeLuca. And I like DeLuca because she gets that extra turn. All right. That's the end of that. The Mythos phase. Place a Doom token. and then draw a card. She went first. She got broken rails. Each investigator at your location loses an action, so she's down to 3. Each investigator at your location with 4 or more damage must also discard an asset. All right, so temporarily she's down to 3, not 4. And that's good because it won't affect Mark. Mark draws Helpless Passenger. Revelation. Put him into play at your location to the left. Parlay. Take control. Forced. If Helpless Passenger leaves play, each investigator takes a horror. Put him into play at the location to your left. So he's here. Because I'm here. Put Helpless into play. Take control. If he leaves play. Oh, I see. If he gets killed, each investigator will take a horror. Okay, maybe Jenny will parlay with him and move him. She's got to move this way. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. All right, it is now... Jenny drew a card. He drew a card. It is now my turn. All right, Jenny. Jenny needs to move, and unfortunately, if she moves here, you must either discard 2... She doesn't have it. Or take 2 damage. She could take 2 damage. She's at 8 health. She'll move here for 1 action. She only gets 3 this turn, so she takes 2 damage. All right. Now, if she moves here, she's got to get rid of at least 1 wild. She does have a wild with Dr. Morgan. So, but there's lots of clues here, and she can investigate for a lot. She's got an investigate of 3 versus 1 shroud, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to investigate for her second time, 3 versus 1. 3 plus 1, she gets a clue. And for her third and final action, she'll investigate, 3 versus 1. And she gets it. All right, and that is the end of her turn. Mark. Mark has 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. I want to get an ally out. Greta gives him +1 fight. And after you defeat an enemy, exhaust her, deal 1 damage to her, and she gets a clue at your location. But Armitage is only 2 cost, and the guard dog is 3. He could get both of them out. The guard dog says when an enemy attacks, deal damage to the guard dog. Deal 1 damage to the attacking enemy. When an enemy attack deals damage to the guard dog, deal damage to the enemy. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay 2 to get Armitage out. And then I'm going to pay 3 for the guard dog. That's his second turn. I don't want to move yet because I don't have anything. I guess I'll investigate. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Okay. After you draw a card, discard that card, and exhaust him to gain 3 resources. I could gain 3 resources right now just by choosing for my third action to draw a card. Then I have to discard it to gain 3 resources. His investigate is what? 2 versus 2, and I can't really contribute much to it. Greta would contribute 1. I'm not going to get her back. She takes 5, and I've got 2 allies out. So I'm going to do this for his third and final action. You know what? I'm going to move. I'm not. I'm probably going to regret this, but I'm going to, for third action, he's going to move here and flip another passenger car. After you enter, you must discard cards from your hand with at least 2 total fight icons or take 2 damage. I only have 1, so he will take 2 damage. However, okay, he has to take it. He doesn't have a choice. That's not good. All right, so 2 plus 2 is 4, so there's a 3, plus the single is a 4. So he has 4 total damage out of 9, so he's down to 5 health. And it says, and Sophie says, if Mark Harrigan has 5 or more damage, you flip this, and that hurts him. All right, so he's almost to the engine car. So let's do this. He played, and he moved. So He is done. This one has two clue tokens on it. I don't know if these clue tokens are going to be needed or not. She's got 4 and he's got 1. I bet you the engine card needs them. I'm just guessing, but I don't know. All right, so it's the end of his turn. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Hapless Victim said Surge. He was supposed to draw another one. Frozen in Fear. Put it into play the first time you perform one of the following. Move, fight, or evade. It costs 1 additional action. At the end of your turn, test. Okay, so let's retro that. Well, it's going to be kind of hard to retro it. I didn't notice that it said Surge. He should have drawn another card. So I did do a move. The first time you perform an action move, each round, it costs 1 additional action. So he would not have been able to move. So he would be here. This would go away. He would still be at 2 damage. This would be unrevealed. And instead, it costs 1 additional move. So he could not move. He has 1 action. So I tell you what I'll do. I'll just choose to do that 1 action. I'll draw a card and use Armitage. So he'll draw a card. He got Venturer. I'll exhaust and take 3 resources. That was his 3rd turn. Then he flips. I can't get. It says at the end of your turn, test 3 sanity. If I succeed, I can get rid of this. His sanity is 3. I got nothing that'll help with it. So 3 versus 3 to get rid of it. I did. All right, so that goes away. So we're caught up. So he's done. No enemies. You refresh everything. These come over. They each get a resource. She gets 2. They draw a card. He got 1-2 punch. She gets Searching for Izzy, her weakness. Attach Searching for Izzy to the location farthest from you. Well, the farthest would be the engine car. Then it takes 2 actions. Investigate. If you succeed, instead of discovering clues, you discard Searching for Izzy. When the game ends, if she is still in play, Jenny will take 1 mental trauma, which is a permanent mental damage to her that will continue. All right. Good to know. All right, so we are now at the Mythos phase. I put a Doom token on. There are now 3 Doom tokens out of 4 to advance that. Jenny draws a card. She got Broken Rails. Each investigator at your location loses an action, so she's back still at 3 actions. Mark drew a Grappling Horror. While you are engaged with a horror, you cannot move. So he has got a Grappling Horror on him. It's got 3 fight, 3 health. All right. It is now Jenny's turn. She is at 3 actions. She's got some bullets in her gun, which might be helpful. And she's got Leo DeLuca, which gives her an extra turn. But remember, she loses a turn. So she's back down to 3. So she will... These clues are so valuable. I know that they're going to be. They wouldn't put so many of them if they weren't valuable. I'm going to spend her first action investigating. She's got a 3 investigate versus a 1. I like those odds. 3 versus 1. That is -1. So. So she did make it. So this goes to 2 clues. Not enough little clue. I need to get. So this goes down to 2. Wait, she's right here. 2, and she gets a bonus. She gets 1. Okay, so she's got a bunch of clues on her. All right. For her second action, she's going to investigate. 3 versus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. It still beats the 1, so she gets that. And for her third and final action, 3 1. Do I want to contribute this to get 4? I'm going to do it. 4 versus 1. I did. All right, so she cleaned it out. All right. I cleaned this one out, which is worth a victory point, so that's good. I get a victory point. Are there any more victory points? No. All right. All right, and that is the end of her turn. All right. Now, Mark. Well, I need to leave this because... let's see. Because she might have to retreat. I can't imagine why, but all right. Mark's turn. Mark has the grappling horror, so he's going to have to fight. He has 1-2 punch. Costs 2, which I do have. Where did these come? These were here, yeah. So he's got 4. He's got a clue. So he pays 2. He gets +1 fight. If you succeed, you may fight that enemy again and get +2 fight and +1 damage. Okay. All right. So do I get any plus damage here? Nope. All right. So I will play this. He has +1 fight. So he's at 6 versus 3. 6 versus 3. 6 minus 1 is 5. So he puts a point of damage on it. And now, because of the 1-2 punch, it says you may fight again. Doesn't spend an action. You gain +2, and it deals +1 damage, which will kill it if I win. Okay, so now he's at 5 versus... No, he's at 5 + 2. He's at 7 versus 3. And if he wins, it does +2 damage. 7 versus 3. Oh, that's awesome. What is that? +1 for each damage on him. So, yeah, he killed it. So, that's great. So that goes away. The grappling horror goes away. Is it worth a victory point? No, it's not. That goes away. And that was his first turn. He chose to fight. So, and that was a good card. All right, so this goes back in. Second action, he's still dealing. No, he's not. He got rid of that one that prevented him from moving. So he can move now. So he, on his second action, he will move, which flips this, puts 2 on it. And it says... You must discard your hand with 2 fight signs, which I do not have, or take 2 damage. So now he will take the damage. He's at 4 damage. And Jenny's at 2 damage. All right, so that was his second action. The third action, I can move to the engine car, which will advance that. So I move here. He flips. That's him. That's it for his turn. This flips over. It gets 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Engine cars connect. Okay, forced. After you reveal engine car, draw the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. And it's worth 1 victory if I get all the clues off of here. After you reveal it, draw the top 3 cards. So Mark has to deal the top 3 cards. 1, Frozen in Fear. Put it into play. First time you perform a move, fight, or evade, it costs 1 additional action. At the end of your turn, you may test 3. Okay, so that's good. That's not a bad card. Second one, Wizard of the Order. Great, that's an enemy. Spawn any empty location. Forced. At the end of the Mythos phase, place 1 doom. All right, so any empty location. So I will put it... I could put him back here in the parlor car. But it's going to have a doom token on it, which is not good. At the end, place a doom, which is going to forward this, but it was going to get forwarded anyway. So where should I put him? I should put him. He can't go here with a hapless victim. I guess I'll put him near. Put him here. All right, and then I draw 1 more card. Dissonant Voices. Put it into play. You cannot play assets or events. At the end of the round, discard it. Okay, at the end of the round. So, here's the deal. There is an enemy here, but there's no one there for it to attack. So it doesn't do anything. It doesn't move. It's not a hunter where it moves to a target. That is the enemy phase. There's no other enemy. So now I flip these over. And it says at the end of the Mythos phase. So not yet. The Mythos phase is not ended yet. So, flip them over. They each get a resource. And they get a card. And he draws 45 automatic. Yes, I needed that. That's a good weapon. She draws Backstab. All right, he uses agility instead of fight, which her agility and fight are the same. But it deals +2 damage. That's good. And so they got a resource. They got a card. Now it's the Mythos phase. So the Mythos phase begins. You place this, that's 4, which immediately advances this. So let me read it. The rearmost car of the train detaches as it is pulled backwards. To your horror, it rises off the track and is consumed by the gate above you. Remove the leftmost card from the game, or place it in the victory display if it has victory X. It does not, so it's gone. Each investigator at that location is defeated. Each enemy and asset at that location is discarded. Discard all clues controlled by the investigators there. All right, so that didn't really do anything. But now we're on agenda number 2. The mall widens. The tear grows larger, and you can feel the rearmost car of the train shaking as it is pulled backwards. The situation threatens to erupt into chaos as more passengers realize the danger they are in. Some passengers are looking for places to hide, while others are running about the compartment in terror. This one only needs 3 doom to advance, so I got to get moving. All right. It is now time to draw a card. It's not the end of the Mythos phase yet. I've still got to draw, and then this puts a doom token on that automatically. Place a doom on the wizard. So there's a doom token here. I need to kill him. All right. Who went first? Jenny went first. Jenny draws Grappling Horror. All right. She cannot move while it's with her. And Mark draws Ancient Evils. Oh, no. Place a doom on the current agenda. Ooh. And it is now the end of the Mythos phase. The Wizard of the Order places a second one here. Jenny's got to get away from this car. It is now Jenny's turn. If she moves here, she has to get rid of a random or take 1 damage and 1 horror, which she could put on Luca. So she's going to do that. She will move here. She's got four actions this turn. She moves. She'll take 1 damage and 1 horror. So DeLuca takes 1 sanity and 1 damage. That's what allies are good for. He's still got 1 of each, so he's okay. The clues, that's what I'm not sure about. You know what? We need to get, so it says after you reveal the engine card, draw. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do this. So run. I investigated the engine car. The investigators entering the engine car read the following out loud. A tender car filled with coal blocks your way to the engine cab. Swallowing your fear, you climb out of the nearby window and clamber onto the roof of the train, making your way across to the tender car, or making your way across the tender car. The steady backward motion of the train makes it difficult for you to keep your footing. As you get close, a winged creature swoops down from above, its body composed of piping hot steam. You must decide. Test 3 agility or test 3 fight. Well, my fight is 5. To attempt to endure the creature's extreme heat. If you fail, the creature flies through you and the heat burns you. You suffer 1 physical trauma, which is permanent damage. Test 3 agility. His agility is 3. To attempt to dodge it. If you fail, you leap too far and barely hang on. Although you manage to pull yourself up, the experience is terrifying. You will suffer 1 mental trauma. I don't really want to take that mental trauma either. Because he's got, what, 9 and 5? So I will test 3 fight. I will test 3 fight. And, oh no, those are hers. I only have 1 fight thing to contribute. So I will contribute that to make his fight 6 versus 3. Oh, and I forgot. I could discard this at the end of the round. And frozen at the end of the turn. Okay, I got to look at this. 6 versus 3. 6 minus 1 is 5, so I managed to do it, which puts me on to the act number 2. Get the engine running. You've managed to make it to the engine car, but now you have to get the engine started again so you can outrun the pulling force of the gate. If there are no clues on the engine car, advance. Oh, so I got to get 4 clues off. All right, so I need to get Jenny up here. So remember, what happened was I forgot to do this, so I'm dealing with this right now. I'll deal with Mark in a moment. I'm still here. All right, so Jenny moved. She gets 4 actions, so that's 1. She's got a grappling horror, so she has to deal with a grappling horror right now, right? And that would, or was that here? Was she here or was she here? I cannot recall. I think she was here. She was. So she's got to deal with a grappling horror before she can move. All right, so first action is to fight this guy. He's got a fight of 3 and a health of 3. She can spend ammo. You get +2 for the attack, and it deals +2 damage. So you know what? She's going to do it. She'll spend 1. She gets +2 fight. Her fight is 3. It's now 5. And I'm going to commit knife. I'm going to commit overpower, because if I succeed, I get to draw a card. And it adds +2. So she's now at 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 versus 3. Oh, 6 minus 1 is 5. So she manages to put 2 damage on it. And it only has 3 more. So 1 more shot, and she could do it. But she needs to save it for this, because he's got 4 fight. All right, so I will play the knife. Oh, I succeeded, so I get to draw a card. Sneak attack. Deal 2 damage to an exhausted enemy. Ooh, that might come in helpful with him. Because that 2 damage would kill him. Okay. She's got to deal with him. So this is her second action. Second action is she will burn the knife to get +1 for the fight. So she's now at 4. She has to pay 1 to use it. Well, no, hold on. That's an action. If she contributes, it just adds +1, which would put her at 4. And this one would put her at +2 damage. I need to hold on to that, and I need to hold on. Well, one of these I could do, because he's only got 2 health. This attack uses agility instead and deals +2 damage. Deal 2 damage to an exhausted enemy. So if I evade him on the next turn, I can play that to kill him instantly, which is probably a good thing. All right, so to beat this one, I'm going 3, 4, 5. 5 versus 3. 5 plus 1 is 6. That is enough to kill the grappling horror. That was her second action. And for her third and final action, she will move. Discard. Oh, she's going to take a damage and a horror. Oh, no, she will, because this wasn't here. I put that on there. Now DeLuca takes this, and she is here. That is her third action. Her fourth and final action is going to be to parlay with the helpless passenger. So the helpless passenger is coming with her, and she is done. All right. Whew. All right, now, Mark, the one thing I didn't do was this. At the end of your turn, test 3 sanity. Otherwise, I have to keep it. And I can only... A move, a fight, or an evade takes an additional action. So let's try to do a 3 versus 3. 3 plus 1 is 4, so I managed to get rid of that. That's excellent. All right, so now he is at 3 turns. He is at the engine. But unfortunately... Oh, he did evade that monster. Okay, so he needs to get these clues off. He's got 3... He's got 3 actions, so he could get 3 clues. And he's got nothing... No. So his investigate is 2 versus 1. And he can contribute Venturer to make it 3 versus 1. That is -2. 3 minus 2 is ties with a 1, so he gets a clue. For his second action, he'll do it again. 3 versus 1. Or 2 versus 1, excuse me. Do I have anything to help with that? Nothing. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. 2 versus 1. Oh, that's a +1, so he gets another one. This goes down to 2, and he gets 1 more. Okay, so there's 2 more on there, and he gets 1. So right there. I still don't know what all these clues are for. That's got to come up maybe in the interlude or something. I don't know. All right. That was his second action. For third action, 2 versus 1. Actually, put this back in. 2 versus 1. 2 minus 2 is 0, so he failed it. All right, so he only got 2 clues that turn, and that is the end of his turn. Now, enemy phase. Nothing happens. This one stays right there. He's waiting for Jenny. It is now Oh, this is not good. This is not good. That's going to advance. So this flips and this flips. They each get a resource, or she gets 2. The resources for her really haven't been coming into play, and he gets 1. They draw a card. He gets Necronomicon, +1 research, gain 2 resources as an action. She draws Elusive. Disengage. Deal 2 damage to an exhausted enemy. When you disengage, oh, that's cool. Okay, I know what Jenny's going to do next. All right, she has 2 bullets left, and that is it. Oh, you know what? But the Mythos phase, sorry. So it is now the end of the upkeep. 3 clues go on here, which advances this. The next train is ripped backwards with violent force. A middle-aged man hangs from his fingertips as the car flies unhindered towards the rift. In moments, the car is consumed whole, and the man lets go rather than be pulled into the void. He starts to fall, but is caught by the rift's force and pulled inside anyway. Remove the leftmost location. If it's got victory, which it does, put it in the victory display. Each investigator is defeated. All clues lost. Oh, man. Okay, so she's still doing okay. But now we're on agenda number 3. The pull of the rift in the sky seems to grow stronger, and the entire train begins to roll backwards. The rearmost cars begin to rattle, the force of the rift threatening to detach them. You must get out of these cars as fast as you can. 4 for Doom. She went first, so she draws. She got Arcane Barrier attached to your location. As an additional cost to move out, you must test for sanity. If successful, discard it. Otherwise, you can cancel the effects of the move, or discard the top 5 cards. Otherwise, you must cancel the effects of the move or discard top 5 cards. Ooh. All right. And Mark draws Claws of Steam. Test 3 sanity. If you fail, take 2 damage. And you cannot move from this location. Well, that's okay. Damage from this effect must be assigned to assets first. Okay, I can deal with that. So test 3 sanity. He has 3 sanity, and I don't have any cards to help. 3 versus 3. Auto fail. Ugh, auto failed. So I failed it, and I must assign 2 damage. I'll give the 2 damage to Armitage. He'll go away. I don't want the guard dog gone because I don't know what I'm gonna have to fight in a minute. So he goes away. This goes away. It is now Jenny's turn. This goes away, and we put nothing on it. Okay. So, okay, Jenny. Jenny has 4 actions. Now, she moves into this forest. When you enter, you must discard cards with at least 2 sanity. And she can't. Or take 2 horror. She can take the horror. She could do it. So she'll move here for 1 action. She takes 2 horror. The horror will go away at the end of this scenario. But if she dies or gets knocked out of the game because she loses too much sanity, she starts with a mental trauma on her next time. She now has the wizard engaged with her. So, for her second action, she's going to shoot him. He is fight 2. It gives her +2 fight and +1 damage. So, if it hits him, it'll do 2 damage and it will kill him. Her fight is 3. This gives her +2, which is 5. I'm going to add... Oh, you know what? No. I am going to play 2, pay 2, to play Elusive. Disengage from each enemy engaged with you and move to a revealed location with no enemies. So she can disengage with him and move here. But sneak attack says deal damage to an exhausted enemy. Well, he's no longer at her location. And as he's not worth victory points, I am not going to worry about him. So that allowed her to move to this location for free. So she moved. That was 1 turn. She played this. That's 2 turns. Now she's got 2 more turns left because of DeLuca. Her third turn will take her here, and she needs to get rid of 2 fight, and she doesn't have it. I could draw a card. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let's go back. She could not have moved out of here without discarding 5 cards. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. The bulletproof vest would have been good to have, but I had to get rid of 5 cards to be able to move from here. All right. So I engaged, disengaged, and then moved. So she's got 2 actions left. Take 2 damage. That's enough to kill DeLuca, which I don't care at this point because this would be her 3rd move or 3rd action, and her 4th action will get her here. So let's do that. So I'm going to move here for her 3rd action. I take 2 damage because I don't have the icons. So 1 damage goes to DeLuca and 1 damage comes to me. It spills over. She finally loses old DeLuca, and she took the 2 damage, and then her 4th and final action will be to move here with Mark, and that is the end of her turn. However, after you reveal... Oh, no, there is no cost once you move into the engine car. After you reveal it, you draw the 3. All right, so she is there. Now Mark can go. Mark has a weapon and the Necronomicon and 2 clues. He will play the Necronomicon. He'll play it for 2 for his 1st action. He gets +1 research. Now his research is 3 versus 1. 3 versus 1. She can contribute this if we need it. Let's do it. 3 versus 1. I'm going to take a chance. 3 versus 1. And did it. All right, so he gets another clue. And then she's going to contribute this. He gets 3, 4 versus 1. 4 versus 1, and he gets it. He's got all the clues off of the engine car, which says, if there are no clues on the engine car, advance. I flip this over. The engine roars to life and kicks into motion. You shovel coal into the engine firebox and are relieved to see that the train is moving forward along the tracks once again. Go to resolution number 1. All right, let's see what resolution number 1 is. Resolution number 1. You breathe a sigh of relief as the gate behind the train collapses harmlessly upon itself. The few passengers who survived the ordeal seem unable to comprehend what just happened. One passenger mentions a pipe bursting in the rear car, and that quickly becomes the explanation for the innocent and ignorant, those who either cannot or choose not to delve further into the mystery. You, on the other hand, know better, although in hindsight you wish you did not. Each investigator earns XP equal to the Victory X display of card. Okay, so I got 1 victory. I got the engine car. That's 2 victory. I didn't defeat anything else that gave me, so they get 2 victory. And I guess all those clues don't really matter. That's interesting. Huh. Wow. Okay. Nothing. That is so weird. Why would you want to get those clues? Maybe, I don't know. Let's see what would have happened. Remove 2 victory. Okay, so that's it. Remove clues. Okay, and then finally out of time. Each surviving. Okay. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure what the point of gathering all these clues are. I thought maybe you would get like XP for every 2 you had or every 5 you had or something, but she had 7 and he had 5, so I get nothing for that? That is so weird. I'm going to read further. Maybe I missed something, but the cool thing is that was probably the most perfect game of Arkham Horror I've ever played. No mental trauma, no physical trauma carried over. That was fun. All right, so now what I've done, I've got 2 additional XP. I'm going to bank it probably. I don't want to spend it just yet. Up next will be scenario number 4, Blood on the Altar. I will play that sometime very soon. That will be the next video in this series. Thanks for joining me as I play another game of Arkham Horror, the card game. I hope you're enjoying this. This is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. I'll see you next time. Take care.